What if the food you eat every day is quietly shrinking your brain? Not in a sudden, dramatic way, but through a slow, almost invisible erosion of your intelligence, year after year. It sounds like science fiction, but a growing body of evidence suggests this disturbing possibility might be our reality. We measure economic growth, track our fitness, and monitor our bank accounts. But what if the most critical asset we have, our cognitive function, is in a silent, steady decline, driven by what's on our plates? The link between nutrition and intelligence is far deeper and more alarming than most of us imagine. And later in this video, you'll discover the one common food, found in nearly everything, that may be the single biggest culprit behind this mental decay. The truly unsettling part of this premise is its subtlety. You don't lose 5 IQ points overnight. It's not like a concussion or a traumatic injury. Instead, it's a gradual fading. It's the word that's just on the tip of your tongue but never comes. It's reading a page twice because nothing stuck the first time. It's a slow decline in your ability for sharp, logical reasoning. On a global scale, this trend is starting to show up in the data. For decades, IQ scores were steadily rising in a phenomenon known as the Flynn effect. But in recent years, in many developed nations, that trend has stalled and even reversed. We're getting access to more information than any generation in history. Yet some core metrics of our raw problem-solving ability, our IQ statistics, are beginning to falter. Could the choices you make in the grocery store aisle today directly impact the sharpness of your thinking decades from now? The evidence is pointing to yes. We live in an age of unprecedented abundance. We can have any food from any corner of the world delivered to our doorstep, often in minutes. Yet, in this paradise of plenty, our minds seem to be in a retreat. The modern food environment is a marvel of engineering, designed for shelf stability, hyper-palatability, and above all, profit. These are the ultra-processed convenience foods that fill the center aisles of every supermarket. They are scientifically crafted to be irresistible. But while our food has become more abundant and engineered, our collective cognitive function isn't improving alongside it. In fact, the rise of processed food consumption tracks almost perfectly with the increase in reports of brain fog, attention difficulties, and mental fatigue. This paradox is at the heart of our problem. We have more food, but less nourishment for the one organ that defines us. Is it possible that something on our plates, something we consume daily without a second thought, is silently sabotaging the very chemistry of our consciousness? To understand how this happens, you have to see your brain for what it is, a high-performance biological machine. It makes up only 2% of your body weight, but consumes over 20% of your daily energy and nutrients. It's incredibly demanding. For peak performance, it needs a constant supply of specific high-quality fuel, omega-3 fatty acids to build cell membranes, antioxidants to fight off oxidative stress, and a full spectrum of vitamins and minerals to facilitate trillions of neural transmissions every second. Now, imagine what happens when you feed this machine the wrong fuel. Hyper-processed foods, loaded with refined sugars, unhealthy fats, and artificial additives, trigger a low-grade, chronic inflammation throughout your body, and especially in your brain. This inflammation is like rust in an engine. It slows everything down. Neurotransmitters, the chemical messengers that allow for quick thinking and memory recall, become sluggish. Your brain's neuroplasticity, its ability to learn and adapt, is diminished. This isn't just a vague feeling of being unwell. It's a measurable degradation of your capacity for memory, focus, and logical reasoning. The quest for how to stay focused isn't just about discipline. It's fundamentally about biology. The most dangerous part of this cognitive erosion is that you don't feel it happening day to day. It's like a coastline being worn away by the tide. You don't notice the loss of a single grain of sand, but over decades, the entire landscape changes. The real-world effects are subtle at first. You might find yourself struggling to recall names or details that used to come easily. Your patience wears thin faster, and you become more emotionally reactive because the part of your brain responsible for executive function is underfueled and overworked. That persistent mental haze, that brain fog you dismiss as just being tired or stressed, it could be a symptom of this nutritional deficit. It's the constant feeling of your mind running at 70% capacity. You might blame it on age, on lack of sleep, or on a busy schedule, but the root cause could be much simpler and much more consistent. It could be the cumulative effect of thousands of meals that starved your brain while filling your stomach. Take a moment and ask yourself honestly, have you noticed this subtle decline in yourself? A shorter attention span, a foggier memory? This isn't just a personal problem. It has profound generational consequences. The brain's architecture is most rapidly built in the womb and during early childhood. The nutrition a mother receives during pregnancy and the food a child eats in their first few years can set their cognitive potential for life. When a generation is raised on nutrient-poor, calorie-dense processed foods, we are not just affecting their health. We are potentially locking in a lower ceiling for their intellectual development. Our modern, fast-paced culture perpetuates this cycle. Busy, overworked parents rely on convenient, processed meals. Those children then grow up with a palate and habits that favor those same foods, which they then pass on to their own kids. The connection between nutrition and intelligence becomes a generational handoff of diminished potential. This slow, societal dumbing down isn't a conspiracy. It's a quiet crisis born of convenience. This is no longer just about individual well-being. It's about the future cognitive health of our society. The IQ statistics of tomorrow are being determined in the kitchens and school cafeterias of today. But this is not a hopeless situation. The brain is remarkably resilient, and you can take practical steps to fight back, starting today. First, you must fundamentally change your relationship with food. Stop seeing it as mere fuel or fleeting pleasure, and start treating it as a direct investment in your mental clarity and brain power. The strategy is simple. Prioritize nutrient density. Build your diet around whole, unprocessed foods, leafy greens, colorful vegetables, high-quality proteins, and healthy fats from sources like avocados, nuts, and olive oil. These foods are packed with the antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals your brain craves. Second, let's talk about that one culprit I mentioned at the beginning. The single most destructive ingredient for your brain is refined sugar. It's a driver of inflammation. It causes energy crashes that destroy focus, and it's been directly linked to cognitive decline. It hides in everything from bread to salad dressing to pasta sauce. Becoming a relentless detective of added sugars on nutrition labels is one of the most powerful things you can do for your long-term mental performance. Third, for those with dietary gaps, certain brain supplements have strong scientific backing. Omega-3s, particularly DHA, are critical. B vitamins, magnesium, and lion's mane mushroom have also shown promise in supporting cognitive function. This isn't about miracle pills, it's about targeted support. Fourth, you must declutter the mind. Good nutrition is the foundation, but practices like mindfulness, meditation, and minimizing digital overstimulation reduce the cognitive load on your brain, allowing it to heal and function optimally. Finally, educate yourself on the tactics of the food industry. Processed food is designed for addiction and profit, not for your cognitive well-being. Understanding this empowers you to make conscious choices, not just follow cravings engineered in a lab. So, we're left with a haunting reflection. Every bite you take is a choice. It's either a step toward building a more resilient, sharper, and more capable mind, or it's a small contribution to that slow, silent erosion. It forces us to ask a deeply uncomfortable question. Could years of seemingly harmless food choices, the daily sodas, the convenient frozen dinners, the sugary snacks, have already subtly lowered your cognitive ceiling? Have they shaved off a few points of your potential IQ without you ever realizing it? This isn't about fear. It's about awareness. The power to change this trajectory is on your plate, at your very next meal. The relationship between nutrition and intelligence is undeniable. Your brain power is not fixed. You can build it or you can let it erode. The choice is yours. What choice will you make today?